All right, Rick Smiley Morning Show. Hey, it's about that time. Jeff Johnson got 3 things you need to know. What up, Jeff?
I wasn't ready for that intro. Hey, man, what's happening?
I wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Man, we happy to have you, man.
Oh, this is good to be on with y'all this morning. Oh.
That's the nickname, Jeff. That's what we call him, Bart Barker.
Elevate us, Jeff, please.
I'm in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. The National Urban League is having their national convention. I just flew in from Philly, where my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated, is having their national convention. It is the Negro Organizational National Convention season. The NAACP had theirs, and there are traditional organizations that are, in a lot of ways, trying to figure out how are they going to impact our communities as the federal government is creating changes that almost take us back to a time where we actually served each other and ourselves. And so I was on a panel yesterday, Rick, and we were talking about education in particular, especially as this Supreme Court case really creates the pathway to remove the Department of Education. I'm going to talk a little bit about what that means. But one of my dear friends, Dr. Walter Kimbrough, who has been a president at many HBCUs, talked about this need for us to do for ourselves. And many of us forget that's what we used to do. Like, we had people that were educated in one-room schoolhouses because we couldn't go to public schools. We created over 150 HBCUs at one time because we couldn't get into PWIs. We trained teachers at a real level, and now we're in a place where only 2% of public school teachers are black men. And so it's not that I'm almost excited in the midst of horror, because what this moment is showing us is how much we have got to do for ourselves and not wait on anybody to do anything for us. But what it really means is this decision by the Supreme Court is paving the way for 1,300 firings by August 1st in the Department of Education. There is no necessary rhyme or reason about how those positions are going to be removed. And this is a real pathway towards, I think, what we've heard conservatives talk about for a long time. I mean, people have been talking about Trump wanting to end the Department of Education. Ronald Reagan talked about wanting to end the Department of Education in 1982. And so we've seen iterations of this from Republicans, everything from closing it down to really shifting all power to the states. And so, Kay, I mean, I don't know if we really understand what it would mean if the Department of Education was gone. That would mean you would now push all responsibility to the states. Right now, states have huge responsibility for education. I mean, they determine what curriculum is. They determine what our children learn. They determine what books are used or not used. And they determine some level of state standards. But many of those state standards have been developed by the federal government. And so, number one, they would have to reclaim and rebuild educational government infrastructure like data collection, grant distribution, program evaluation, and compliance. And there would be no more civil rights divisions, but the question would still be, how would individuals get their rights protected from a legal standpoint? And that would be the state's responsibility also. They would have to absorb and manage former federal funding programs. So they have to replace billions in lost federal funding, Pell Grants, Title I idea around special education, if those things were going to exist.
Right.
They'd have to restructure how those funds are distributed, and if Congress block grants are going to be funded to the states or not. This would require building new systems for allocation, compliance, accountability. I mean, this is huge, you all. And so they would also have to redefine educational standards and accountability. We've already seen, Kay, that almost all complaints from a civil rights perspective have been halted. And it's, we're not just talking about race-based issues here. We're talking about any rights that folks have by way of parents, by way of students, will almost be non-existent.
Right.
They would have to handle higher education oversight by regulating colleges and universities, accreditation standards, which and currently which are currently supported by the federal government.
And a lot of
they
states
would have to
don't even
manage
have
or
the money to
eliminate
do
the
that,
federal
right?
student aid debt. I mean, do you all understand how huge this is and the billions of dollars this is going to cost to make states who already are overworked and understaffed and in many cases don't know what the hell they're doing? This is a massive blow to a public education system that is already hemorrhaging with problems at every level. And if anybody believes the states know what they're doing, I've talked to Republicans in some states. They were like, Jeff, we have no idea what this is going to mean for us, how much this is going to cost, where the money is going to come from, and how we're going to manage it. And this is something that we are talking about having to happen within the next potentially 1 year to 18 months. And so I don't think we can understate the importance of this Supreme Court decision and the pathway it's going to take us down by way of our kids. And then don't get me started on special ed, y'all, and what that means for our babies who are neurodivergent. This is a death wish for so many of our students. We are going to have to pay attention to this because it's going to impact every single child that is in the public school system in the United States of America. And our kids in our districts are often already overburdened with challenges because school systems in urban communities play a wraparound service role that they don't always play in suburban communities. So this is a huge development and one that we're going to have to not only educate ourselves on, but organize around. Because if we don't want our kids to be more negatively affected than they're already going to be, it's going to be on us to do it.
I really wish that the National Urban League and the NAACP would have us broadcast live, morning show live from their conventions. I think it's so important to bring awareness to stuff like that, just like we're going to be doing some more stuff with St. Jude. That's where we was last night. Because that's our job in radio is to do service. We should be at these events and seeing what's out there and what people are talking about and what people are doing in the community and bringing awareness to certain stuff and having these presidents on, having Darrell Johnson and Mark Morial. Mark Morial is already on the show, but I would like to have Darrell Johnson, come on the show and talk about what the NAACP is doing. Next convention they have, I don't know if they do every year or every other year. The morning show would definitely like to attend, do a live broadcast, and talk about, just to be there so we can bring different people on to talk about the issues that the organizations are doing in the community. So important.